Hello. Today I want to tell you about the John R. Borchert Map Library at the University of Minnesota. Last year, a coworker of mine pointed it out to me, and they have an online database where you can find historical maps, plat maps, and aerial photos of the state of Minnesota. And I thought it would be a fun exercise to introduce it to you, especially if you're as interested in history as I am. And uh, I thought it might be fun to show you where the uh, diamond tool factory was located in Duluth, Minnesota. So, first of all, we'll search for the library. And even though they have several other headings here, we'll click on the main heading in the search results here. Now, this is the main page. This website seems to work fine on a PC. It also works okay on my Kindle. It does not work on my Android phone, although I do have a less expensive and slightly older Android phone. I do think my brother has been able to make it work on his iPhone, although I don't know that for sure. Anyway, what you do, they have different collections available here. Plat maps, I've used that before, and some other things. But we're going to go to this second one, aerial photography. And here, we'll just go to this where it says in the middle of the page, Minnesota Historical Aerial Photographs Online, and click on that. Now this brings up a map of the whole state of Minnesota. Each of these colored dots in here is actually representative of a aerial photo that exists in their database. And the different colors indicate what decades are from. It's a little bit hard to see on the left. There's actually a legend. Like 1920s is one color, 1930s is another color, etc. I don't actually know if they have any 1920s aerial photos, but they may. Anyway, you can either zoom in using the plus or minus, zoom in or out using the plus or minus in the upper left corner of the screen, or I use the mouse wheel because that's the easiest for me. The first thing I like to do when I'm looking at this is in the upper right corner, you can click on Switch Base Map, and I switch to imagery with labels. Then it makes it look a little bit more like, well, like you expect it to, like if you're looking at Google Maps. And then you have to click on Switch Base Map again to make the box disappear. So we're going to zoom in on Duluth. And it looks a little busy with all those colored dots on it. And so Diamond Tool was located at 4702 Grand Avenue. If you go to 4702 Grand Avenue today, here, let me zoom back out a little bit. If you go to 4702 Grand Avenue today, it'll take you to this building right here, and that is the Denfeld Medical Center. So this is actually where the Diamond Tool Complex was located. But it would be fun to actually look at an old aerial photo that shows you the actual, the top of the building. So the important thing when you're trying to look at aerial photos and compare them to today's, you try to pick a landmark that would have been present back in that time. And the easiest one close to the diamond tool is public school stadium right here. I don't think they actually call it public school stadium anymore. I think they changed the name of it a year or two ago. But it's right next to Denfeld High School. And again, right here is where Diamond Tool was located. As you see, there is a colored dot right there that represents an aerial photo that's available. If we click on that dot, it'll bring up a box that tells us there's an aerial photo available from 1989. So let's look at that one to start with. The Diamond Tool closed, I think, in 1994 and was torn down in 1996. So our best option to, excuse me, let me back out again. The zoom that's available online is really you're either zoomed in or you're zoomed out. There's a little magnifying glass and you click and it's either zoomed in as far as it's going to be or zoomed out as far as it's going to be. And now we're zoomed back out again. Anyway, we'll click on it again and zoom in. Takes a little bit. And if you scroll, see, here we go, there we go. There's public school stadium right there. And we know that if we go a block down and over, right here is the actual Diamond Tool complex. So this is 1989. We're going to close this. And we'll close this box here. You see there's a few others available. Here's a different colored dot. This one is 1972. If I zoom out a little bit, we might find another one. And if you look at this one is 1939. That's the oldest one I think that's available for this. I actually let's actually open it up. So as I was mentioning a little bit ago, if you want to zoom in on an aerial photo, it is actually a little bit easier if you save it to your computer and then you open it up as a photo on your computer. And the way you would do that is you could right click on the image anywhere, click Save Image As. I have actually already done that with this image. So let's go take a look at what it actually looks like. So here it is opened up in Photos, and you might be able to spot it right away. Here actually is Public School Stadium, and I'm zooming in with my mouse, and I can grab it with the mouse and move it, and drag it. There's Denfeld High School. And if we come down and over, here is Diamond Tool. And in 1939, it would have still been called Diamond Cock Horseshoe Company. So I just wanted to introduce you to that John R. Borchert map library. I have used it to look up historical aerial photos of the farm where I grew up and where my dad grew up, and I could see exactly how it looked when he was a little boy. I looked up the farm where my mom grew up, and I could see how it looked when she was little. And I had relatives who farmed in the Dover, St. Charles area in southern Minnesota in the earlier part of the 20th century. I was able to look at old plat maps and find where their farm was, and then identify historical aerial photos uh, of their farm and see what it looked like. So for all of you out here who enjoy history as much as I do, I hope that you get just as much enjoyment out of the John R. Borchert Map Library as I have. Thanks for watching.